STL Medical Weight Loss. See the Dr. Joe difference at stlmedweightloss.com.
Good morning and welcome. This is the Frank and Jill Show on the Big 550 KTRS. The Royal Banks of Missouri text lines wide open, 84126. You can watch us on YouTube and Facebook. We'll have our opening dialogue at about 10:15, and then Chet Pleben, the outstanding attorney, is going to join us at 10:35. We'll talk about Jimmy Kimmel's situation, the Mangione situation, the Charlie Kirk item. And then at 11:08, Jill, we're going to be We're going to welcome Kyle Brandt to the program. Kyle is a part of a great new documentary out about the greatest show on turf. He's an outstanding host on the NFL Network, and we're going to relive maybe the most exciting year in the history of St. Louis with the greatest show on turf. One of them, top five.
Did you get a chance to preview the documentary?
I just watched a little bit of it, yes.
I did too. It's super fun. There's a bunch of reasons why, but I think number one and number two are that Kyle brings in Cedric the Entertainer and none other than Kurt Warner to sort of co-host the reliving or the documentary about this experience of winning that Super Bowl in such an incredible fashion in those last seconds of the game. Super fun.
And as you'll find out, Kyle is one entertaining fella, so we're excited about that.
Have you met him before?
No, I don't think I've seen him, because I think when he started to go to the NFL Network, we started to lose our football team, so we didn't see him in St. Louis.
So didn't get to cross paths for sure. Good weekend?
Good, yes. Went to the Mizzou game on Saturday night. I'm happy I went just to be on the field, to see the electricity and just the passion. There wasn't one empty seat. It was loud. It was great. It's turning into an unbelievable SEC venue. The only thing that was a little weird for me was afterwards is I'm in that media press conference, and I'm looking around, I'm thinking, everybody in here is 24 years old. I mean, it is bizarre. Like, Corey at 30 is, like, considered old. Everybody in there, maybe Gabe DeArmond was 49, but I think, what am I doing here? It's crazy.
Yeah, you fit in right in this studio. You fit in quite well. Besides our Gen Z representative, Connor McCarthy. Good weekend for you, Connor?
Yeah, it was fun. Had a good time, and get back at it again on Monday.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. John rode in like about 3,600 other bike riders at least over the weekend in Pedal the Cause, which raised just under $4 million.
Wow.
John, of course, two-time cancer survivor.
$4 million for one? Oh, my goodness,
it's just incredible. It's an incredible event. John, of course, is a two-time cancer survivor, but he rode in honor of my mom on her advanced stages of her own cancer journey. I have done so many charity things through the years, both through my own involvement and then, going back to the Channel 2 days and getting to be MC and keynote speaker and all kinds of stuff. And I have to say, this is one of the most well-organized. It's just phenomenal, including something you would have loved called Taste the Cause, which is the night before the ride. For the past few years, they've done this. Restaurateurs get this who donated their time, their food. Napoli, Niche, Nudo House, Peacemaker Lobster, Sydney Street Cafe, Companion, Fitz's Root Beer. So
this is the night before.
The night before. So the riders get to go do that, and then you can pay extra, which is what I did as a guest because I've ridden in Pedal the Cause in the past. I did not ride this year, but it was just such a good feel good and incredibly positive way to look at trying to not just lament the fact that cancer impacts so many of our families, but thinking about how we can, as individuals, can contribute toward a cure. It was incredibly.
So the riders pay a certain amount to enter the race, and that money all goes to charity. But then another perk they get is Friday night food.
Right. A lot of riders will go get donations because you try to get up to a minimum of $500 donation if you can. Some people get far more than that. Some people less. But the idea is that you raise as much money as you can for cancer as an individual, and then ride in the experience. And it's you have options to ride on hilly rides or on a 100-mile ride or a 50-mile ride or a 30-mile ride or a 30-mile ride at Katy Trail. The way that this has expanded from the early days when it was basically a spinning event, it's pretty cool.
That's good. And you get that great nutrition the night before, so you're ready to go. Have a little pasta from Cafe Napoli, a little lobster
It was
roll.
lasagna. It was so
Wow.
good.
Man, that sounds good. It almost makes me want to, even though I'm not a bike rider, I'm in. So that's good. All right, let's see. Well, why don't we just take our first break? And when we come back, we'll have the opening dialogue. If you'd like to be a part of the program, Royal Banks, Missouri text line 84126.
Some of my fondest memories as a kid is heading down to the hardware store. You had to pick up a couple of nails, a couple of screws, maybe a gallon of paint, whatever it may be, right? It was your friendly neighborhood hardware store. Well, those don't exist anymore in St. Louis, except for Schnarr's Hardware. They have 2 locations in Webster Groves and in Clayton Road in Ladue. Schnarr's Hardware is that place where you go in and you can get that bucket of paint, you can get a couple of screws. The advice is always free. And the one thing about Schnarr's Hardware that every single family hardware store used to have, and that is the smell. It smells like a hardware store. It's got the selection. I don't know how they do it. It's a small store, but they got everything you ever need. They got the paint. They got paint matching. They've got big green eggs. They've got screws and nails and everything a hardware store should have. Schnarr's Hardware, 2 locations, 1 great hardware store. Schnarr's Hardware, we'll see you there.
Scott, remember when the Queen of Carpet and the Princess of Pile were flying around the arch selling flooring?
Andrea, that was the Queen of Carpet and the Princess of Tile.
Oh, that's right. But we don't need shtick here at Best Buy Flooring.
That's right, because our in-stock selection of carpet, carpet tile, sheet vinyl, laminate, hardwood, luxury vinyl plank, and luxury vinyl tile are already at low, low prices.
Come see us at our 3 area locations, North County, South County, and Metro East. Open 7 days a week.
Plus, free financing on approved credit. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
Michael's Baths, operated by Michael Gower and his daughter Melody. If you want a bathroom remodel, Michael's Baths will give you a free quote. Walk-in showers that all look like natural stone, maybe some grab bars, whatever you need. All they use are American-made products, so you're not at the mercy of any tariff increases. Right now, get a free shower door or $500 off a bathroom remodel. Michael's Baths, 636-775-0800, or online at michaelsbaths.com.
I'm Bob Hardcastle. Listen to my Money Talk radio program every Sunday morning from 8 to 9 a.m. on the Big 550, where we discuss your money in an easy-to-understand manner. We have interesting guests, chat about money. We try to help you feel more comfortable with your money by talking about the investment market. Join me. I'm Bob Hardcastle.
Money Talk, Sunday morning at 8 on the Big 550 KTRS.
Mizzou football on the Big 550 KTRS is powered by Royal Banks of Missouri. The Tigers welcome the UMass Minutemen to Pearl Field this Saturday evening. Pregame at 4:30, kickoff at 6:30. Catch all the action right here on the Big 550 KTRS.
Truck drivers and owner-operators, there's never been a better time to team up at Schneider. We have more team-friendly loads than ever, including express delivery parcel freight that offers great miles with no delays to keep the wheels turning. Plus, for a limited time, company team drivers may be eligible for a sign-on bonus of up to $16,000. Owner-operator teams may qualify for a $10,000 incentive. Explore team driver positions at SchneiderJobs.com and search team contracting jobs at SchneiderOwnerOperators.com.
I'm Mark Miller, owner of Miller Furniture and Mattress, your home for quality American-made furniture since 1927. We offer the largest selection of Amish-made furniture in the St. Louis area, plus quality living room furniture from Flex Steel and Smith Brothers. We carry top-quality mattresses from world-famous brands like Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, and Chatham & Wells. Shop our Belleville, Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis, and Ellisville showrooms. At Miller Furniture, we put the family in furniture.
And now the opening dialogue with Frank and Jill on the Big 550 KTRS. Powered by Worldwide Technology Raceway.
All right, here we go. Thought one. Last week, Ron Burgundy popped up as we talked about Will Ferrell being one of our favorites. And this is when he was the legendary anchor man. He closed out newscast with this line. So that's what St. Louis did yesterday. I don't know why, but for me, besides the Mizzou game, it was the moment I was anticipating the most this weekend, or concerned with the most. The greeting or the reception for John Mozeliak. what would happen on the field for Mo as he walked to the mound to throw out that first pitch on Sunday afternoon. Son Will catching the ball, daughter Allison right next to him, and bride Julie right next to him also. We're St. Louis fans with one last chance to boo him, do it again, air it out, express frustration. Instead, they listened to Ron Burgundy and gave him a wonderful ovation. Yes, it was nice. There were a lot of people in the building, smaller than a previous Fan Appreciation Day, but more than what we've seen for a chunk of the year. Cool that fans didn't have myopic thinking, or just to boo a man on the field with his family there. I asked Ali about it during the press conference, and he said, you don't hold that seat for as long as he has without doing some really good things, and the fans showed their appreciation. And speaking of Ali, cool move, Nolan Arenado was not going to play, but he was in the lineup just so he could be on the field and come off the field for one final ovation before the first pitch. And what an ovation it was for one of the nicest Cardinals of them all. It's going to end now. You don't rebuild with a guy who's going to be 35, making $42 million the last 2 years of his contract. But his family was there. And, when I asked him the question right afterwards, you could tell he was a little bit choked up. So really great for St. Louis fans to express appreciation for two guys who've done their jobs pretty good over the years.
And did I see that we're going to end up about 17th in the league for attendance, the lowest since
behind Colorado?
Behind Colorado.
Yeah.
Well, they have a lot of tourists in the summertime that go to Denver, so I'm going to give them a little bit of a tourist bump. That isn't all being fans of the Rockies necessarily. I was out on Friday in order to attend the beautiful funeral service at St. Ambrose on the Hill commemorating the life of John Frisella, longtime St. Louis businessman, started his own electric company, oldest of 12 kids, an Italian family, and a fixture on the Hill in St. Louis. Funerals, often sad. For me, always touching. I think it's a great time to pause, spend some time reflecting on your own life's journey. How aligned are you with what really matters? How aligned am I in my life every day, what I'm doing with what really matters to me? How am I spending every day? What will people remember me by? For instance, in the case of the man that we all honored on Friday, he had a tough exterior. His son said he was kind of like a loaf of Italian bread, crusty on the outside, but very soft in the middle. And there was story after story, Frank, from person to talk about the kindness, the generosity, the compassion, the second chances. Lots of funerals I've been to of people who did, quote, important things, dignitaries even, and a long list of accomplishments. But I have to say the things that always stick with me in a funeral are the stories of those human interactions, the commitments to people's values, how they made a difference in the lives of those around them. And I took it to heart and thought there's some reevaluation needed in my own life, and nothing like a good funeral to help us all get that back into alignment.
Yeah, that's great that they allowed people to tell stories. That's the whole key to a funeral. I mean, you want a mass, that's great. But boy, when you're talking about a man or woman who's lived 80 years or so, you want to hear really what they were like.
Well, Father Seifert, who we've had on the show here, did a great job. Monsignor Bonamarito was there as well. So they made it personal, did an excellent job, of course, handled the faith component. But John's oldest son, John Paul Frisella, who works in the county prosecutor's office, gave the eulogy and just did an amazing job.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you that one story where, remember the cop? I think I probably have. The police officer whose wife was with another, and they were playing Russian roulette, and the girl was shot and killed. Mm. And so I knew the families, and they asked me to speak at the funeral. It was one of those really big ones at the new cathedral. I mean, it was huge. And I see a police officer before who's a good friend of mine, and all I was going to just say some nice words about the marriage and stuff, because I'd been around that couple, and I thought it was very nice. And then the police officer told me, no, it really wasn't a very good marriage. And they were both kind of, cheating on each other a little bit. It was just really bad. And so I had nothing to say because I wasn't. So the police talk for a long time, the people that were going to talk before me. And so I'm about to go up there. I got nothing because none of what I was going to say was going to be true. So the priest, I think the Monsignor, comes up to me right before I'm going to go on, and he says, Frank, I got bad news for you. He goes, you really got to go just about a minute, okay? Because we went too long with all these other ones. I said, Father, I got that. I can do that because I had nothing. All right, thought two. Are we about to enter a stage where there will not be a late night comedian on television? Stephen Colbert is out. Jimmy Kimmel is out for now. Jimmy Fallon, no talk about losing a job, but he's third behind those two in the ratings. And the reasons are varied. Could it be the FCC and the Trump White House? Maybe, and they should just stay out of this. Could it be just money? Reports are Colbert was losing $40 million and Kimmel was losing $20 million. Some attribute it to going too political, taking too many stands and taking stances on every serious issue when people want to be entertained at night. Now, I want you to hear an old exchange between Mike Wallace and Johnny Carson on 60 Minutes. Wow. Pretty interesting comments, probably from 40 years ago from Johnny Carson. So the question is, do you want your late night comedians taking a side on every issue every night? Or could you say, maybe this is the better way? We want our late night comedians, they can take sides, but then go after each side and not like 90%, 97% against one and 3% against the other. So like, let's just say you were running a network and you had a comedian, what would you encourage him to do? I think that's the question.
Isn't that Fallon, though?
Yeah.
When was the last time and he was, as you just said, the least successful of the four, really, if you count Seth Meyers as well.
They're all bombs. I mean, if you look at like Kimmel for the last like 12 years, it's just a precipitous fashion going down.
Yeah, so they're all going down. They've all dropped.
Yeah.
But the one who dropped the most was doing exactly what you just said. Keeping it, staying out of everything. No one has ever heard Jimmy Fallon say anything of import.
Yeah.
So,
but if you are a late night comedian, is it best to, like Saturday Night Live did it for a while, to go 50-50, critical of each side? Mm-hmm. Or do you think it's a good idea to have a late night comedian on going at one side basically 100% of the time?
Yeah, I was thinking about this question, because it seems to be we have narrowcasted, right? We don't watch things in order to try to appeal to the masses anymore. We narrowcast. Fox News started that many number of years ago. You go where you're going to hear what you want to hear. And so it's a matter of who has, if it's a political division and you're only attracting an audience or that interest that you only hear what you want to hear, then I guess that's just all it is completely making the model of the Johnny Carson defunct, which is something that everybody could unite and enjoy humor together. Nostalgically, I listen to Carson and I go, gosh, that would be nice if we had something that we could unify. Now, it's not late night, but we do have comedians that tend to cross the aisles. I think of a Nate Bargatze. Generally speaking,
I agree.
There's people I know who are very far on the right and very far on the left that sit down and smile when they see him, or there's some others that are out there doing that as well. Is it just late night comedy is no longer where people's
or do you think
habits
the whole
are
model, because there's just this proliferation of programs, that it's not going to work no matter what?
Yes, you just asked the same question I was trying to say, but much more articulately. No. Yeah, exactly. Very well said. St. Louis area is experiencing a drought. I know it's ironic when we finally got some rain over the last couple of days for me to be saying that, but it has been really, really dry. I don't have to tell you that. All you guys are looking at your yellow lawns unless you have a state-of-the-art watering system like some people here in the studio. So I just wanted to look this morning, like, how dry are we? We are in what's considered abnormally dry to severe. A significant increase in drought from earlier this year. August was the 17th driest on record for St. Louis. September also been extremely dry. Soil moisture in St. Louis County, 25 to 50% of normal for year to date. Now, here's the thing that I care about the most right now is that a dry August and September can definitely impact fall colors, right? It causes that stress, an early drop of the leaves. The colors tend to be muted and duller. It's just more brown, and it shortens the season. It can be an overall shorter fall color season. So I'm hoping if we get the rain they're talking about in the next few days, it help mitigate it a little bit, but I'm afraid we're probably not looking at our most beautiful fall color season this year.
Oh, that's bad. All right. Thought three, a couple of quick ones here. I think I have a 99-1 issue in our country, Jill. Hotbox cookies. Had Brooke, KK, and Hank over for a party. We had burgers, no dessert in the house, went to Hotbox. I think you're a legitimate communist if you don't like Hotbox. I mean, have you had it recently?
It's so good. I mean, they're just so tasty. I got to give a quick shout out though. A couple of friends of mine have opened an Alibi Cookies over in the Metro East, which is a version of homemade cookies, and very, very good. Roz Dorsey, a longtime photographer at Channel 2, an old friend of mine, gotten in the cookie business now.
What area now?
Over in the Metro
Belleville,
East. Yeah, I believe it's in Fairview Heights.
Okay, let's
but I have
find
to
out.
look. Yeah.
I'd like to hear about this. Yes, I'm going to support that place. New show on Netflix you have to watch, Black Rabbit. Jason Bateman, Jude Law are brothers. When is Jason Bateman bad in anything? And Jude Law is great. Two brothers, one really bad news, the other not much better. Can't wait to finish it. 5 episodes in. And yes, I am cheating on Monique and not waiting. I mean, when she sends me photos of her doing yoga on the water with majestic backgrounds, I can cheat on her on a series on the couch with Reggie at midnight. I'm not waiting for her. Finally, reason number 1573 why I may not get to heaven. Taking a grandchild to a Halloween store and laughing and enjoying when they get freaked out at a Halloween costume. It is the best. Spencer Alexandra did not handle it well, and I couldn't have enjoyed it more for about 10 seconds. I am not getting to heaven because of that. All right, you're up.
What was the?
It was this like little, almost like a dog that made like ominous sounds, and the dog started to go towards her, and she just freaked out. It was just the best.
Yes, Alibi Cookies in Fairview Heights, Illinois.
Say that, what's the name?
Alibi.
Spell? Alibi. Okay,
got
nice.
it. Yeah, it's very, very good. I'm kind of with Spencer Alexander though. I'm easily spooked, and I probably you will be laughing at me in the same situation. Quick weekend roundup for me. Friday night neighborhood fundraiser. I have to tell you, some of our neighbors, front of the houses look unassuming, and then you get in the backyard and it's like you're in the flippin' botanical gardens. People put together some incredible city gardens in the Lafayette Square neighborhood, raising money to support beautification at our park. Very grateful for them. On Saturday morning, we got up early and went down to our fave Chili Mac Diner downtown. You've been there many times through the years. Donna Radford was there for 45 years, starting back, of course, when it was in the O.T. Hodges. She retired. Saturday was her last day, so we had to be there to support her. She and her sisters, her sister, who's the owner, Wendy.
They're great.
Yes, and Donna said her husband retired 2 years ago, and he finally put his foot down and said, "You're retiring before your birthday next year." She retired on Saturday. I think her birthday was on Sunday. So she did it. She did admit she's going to come back for a day or two. And by the way, they're hiring 2 people to replace her because she couldn't be replaced by one.
Was it 3 sisters?
Yes.
And they're all like in their...
Wendy's the youngest, and that's the little sister. She's the owner. And so Donna and her other sister, I think Phyllis maybe, Phyllis hasn't been around for a little while regularly, but Donna's been there every morning. Those guys get up.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we wanted to go say goodbye. Got in a little bit of water skiing between raindrops over the weekend as well. Last night, hadn't been there for a minute, went to Schlafly. So good downtown location.
Got some beers on Sunday night, huh?
Yeah. Do you know what he did? The bartender, Eric, shout out. He was amazing and a great server as well, and got us helped us order perfectly. I got the Reuben, John got the schnitzel. He talked us into the sticky toffee cake at the end. Outstanding. And I said, I'm kind of wimpy. I don't really like the dark beer. And he came through and got me to try an oatmeal stout and another IPA, and I really liked it.
Really?
I mean, just samples. So he proved to me that sometimes when you say you don't like something, you just need to try it with the right introduction to what you're doing.
All right, that's good stuff. Let's take our first break. When we come back, he's a provocative attorney. He is Chet Pleben. A lot of hot issues out there. This is the Frank and Jill Show on the Big 550 KTRS.
This is Mariah, third generation at Newsteaders Fine Jewelry. Buying an engagement ring can be intimidating. At Newsteaders, we ensure complete understanding of your purchase. We offer a choice in both lab and mine-grown diamonds and are able to work with any budget. Let our family help educate you on your choice at Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
Does the thought of turning on your AC unit make you sweat? Are you dreading another summer of high energy bills in a home that won't stay cool? Do yourself a favor. Schedule a maintenance visit with Viviano Heating and Air, with technicians trained to service every make and model of equipment. We'll put your mind at ease and keep you cool and comfortable all season long. Call today, 618-345-7498, or visit the website, vivianoair.com. That's vivianoair.com. It's hard to stop a train.
Are you retired? Are you thinking about retiring? Who is helping you with retirement? Might be time to check out the show When Retirement Happens, hosted by Kevin Lloyd of Legacy Wealth Advisors. Saturday at 1, Sunday at noon on the Big 550 KTRS. Don't look now, but the Stages season is just about over. But before they close up shop for the season, beautiful, the Carole King musical, now at Stages. It starts September 19th through October 19th. For tickets, stages.stlewis.org. Country Club Car Wash is the best car wash in town. How do I know? I have an unlimited monthly pass to Country Club Car Wash, and it's fantastic. They're touchless, and you get free vacuums at select locations. Each and every day on the morning show, we will be giving away one free Country Club Car Wash to the text of the day. And each week we'll be giving away a grand prize, 1 month of free Country Club Car Washes to the text of the week. We'll see you on the show, and we'll see you at Country Club Car Wash, cccwstl.com.
St. Louis Union Station is adding to the family fun with 3 new rides in the outdoor wheel park. The Flying Louie is a swashbuckling pirate-themed ride that swings to 42.5 feet. The Locomotion is a train-themed roller coaster in the wheel park, and the Wave Swinger is a classic swing ride modeled after the 1904 St. Louis World's Fair. Plan your next visit to St. Louis Union Station to enjoy the new attractions with your family. For more info and tickets, go to stlouisunionstation.com.
Your dentures no longer fit? Maybe you're missing a tooth or several teeth. Visit Dr. Bowen for Simply Secure Dentures and Dental Implants. The cutting-edge, high-quality dental implants that replace all the teeth in your mouth, and it starts as low as $7,000, not the $35,000 that others charge. If you're only missing a few teeth, Dr. Bowen can permanently replace those with something you don't have to take in and out of your mouth. Learn more at simplysecuredentures.com and get the care you need and the teeth you want at Bowen Dental Care or simplysecuredentures.com.
Is it time to make a change with your bank? Hi, it's Julie Buck for Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution with 2 locations, and they've been around since 2005 with the mission to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services. Here's their website. It's triadbanking.com.
A message from the master. If you are looking for that one-of-a-kind gift this year, come on in to Newsteaders Fine Jewelers. Let Richard draw your future present for somebody you love. This special engraving lasts a lifetime. At the corner of Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
And now, KTRS weather from the John Beal Roofing Weather Desk.
Happy first day of fall. Temperatures today struggling to make it out of the upper 70s. That's due to the rain that we have in the morning and lingering cloud cover by the afternoon. The rain expected to clear closer to 10 a.m. and the rest of the day is dry, but there are plenty more rain chances through the week. In fact, Tuesday brings another wave of heavy rain for the second half of the day, and we keep the rain chances through Friday. With your first alert forecast, I'm meteorologist Leah Hill for the Big 550 KTRS.
John Beal Roofing is the home of the lowest price roofing guarantee. Get a free estimate today at johnbealroofing.com.
The great Jim Croce. This is the 52nd anniversary of his tragic death in a plane crash. What a great singer he was. Had a terrific restaurant in San Diego right next to where the Padres played that his wife and his son ran. It was really cool. All right, he is one of our town's great attorneys. He's been around for a long time. He is Chet Pleben. He joins us now. Chet, good to be with you. How are you, sir?
I'm good, Frank. How are you?
Good.
Bill, how are you?
Great. So glad to have you.
Got a lot to talk about. Sinclair and Nexstar said we're not going to air the Jimmy Kimmel program. He was pulled from ABC. And I don't think many people like the government, getting involved, the FCC. But here's my question to you. the First Amendment doesn't protect Jimmy Kimmel from being fired by employers, right? I mean, they're a private sector. They can do what they want. A lot of people think that he has litigation ideas, but can't a private sector company fire a guy?
Absolutely. No question about it, except the circumstances under which he was fired are questionable. So, first we had Colbert. Well, they said, well, Colbert's, not making us any money, and so therefore we're going to kind of remove the show. All right, that may or may not be true. I don't know. But Kimmel's termination, if you will, came in the wake of Brendan Carr's threats. Now, Brendan Carr is the chair of the FCC, and obviously ABC is controlled by the FCC, unlike MSNBC and those stations. So Carr basically says, on behalf of the government, because that's a governmental administrative agency, he says, we can either do this the easy way or we can do it the hard way. And now we're going to look into other shows too, other late night shows, kind of similar to what Kimmel does. And so there was no question about Kimmel and his various feuds with Donald Trump. Epstein, guns, whatever it might be. And of course, Trump always came back with, Kimmel hosting the Oscars, what a bad thing that was, and all that sort of stuff. So they exchanged, these comments with each other on the air, both of them televising or making those comments publicly known. So the difference here and the question here is, what did the government do to get involved in this? And did ABC fire Jimmy Kimmel because of governmental threats? Now, I went back and I listened to his comments about Charlie Kirk and Charlie Kirk's death. And I think a lot of it was based upon his poking fun at Trump too. I think what he did was he aired the comments that Trump had made when he was right in front of the White House, I guess it was, and somebody asked him, "Well, are you upset by the death of Charlie Kirk?" And he said, "Well, yeah." And then he went into, "I'm building this ballroom." Well, there is First Amendment protection for all this. I'm not sure that Jimmy Kimmel said anything that violated the First Amendment. Now, you can violate the First Amendment. There are exceptions to that. Basically, if you incite people to lawless action or truth threats, defamation, obscenity, fighting words, those sorts of things can become actionable, and you can be prosecuted basically for them. But I don't think that any of that, any of Kimmel's comments that day rose to that particular level to justify his termination, other than if the ABC wants to take the position that, well, we want to change because the viewership is down, we're losing money, or whatever, that's fine. But if Kimmel in any kind of litigation can involve the government, and if that is the motivation for ABC doing what they did, then I think he's got a viable claim.
If you're just tuning in, Chet Pleben, well-known St. Louis local attorney, helping us understand some of the legal issues front and center in the headlines right now. Slightly different, but maybe adjacent issue that we've seen now. A number of different school districts in the St. Louis region have either asked for resignations or are taking action against employees for speaking out on social media with saying, in some cases, what's been classified as tasteless or controversial remarks involving Charlie Kirk. And under our laws, that is legal for an employer to do, to hold somebody accountable for what they put on social media. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think, if it brings the school district or, a police agency, for example, into disrespect or into disrepute, then they can certainly take some action. And it might not be a technical situation where they have full First Amendment protection, but if the employer can show, well, we've been harmed, and it kind of fits into that particular category, I don't think that you're protected by First Amendment speech. Now, it doesn't fit into one of the exceptions that I said before when you're inciting, a riot or anything along that line. But I mean, in this day and age, social media, I think we need to kind of get control of social media. I mean, people get on there and they say some of the craziest and most ridiculous things that you'd ever want to read. And it's, they say it and they say it without any consequence whatsoever. So, and I've had that said about me, and I'm sure you guys have also had that said about you. But again, there really is. We need to have more checks and balances on that, and I don't think we're ever going to get there, frankly.
Chet Pleben is with us on the Frank and Jill Show on the Big 550 KTRS. Lance Twiggs is the 22-year-old roommate and romantic partner of Tyler Robinson. And these text exchange have been published where Lance basically says, they found the killer, and says, like, you didn't do it, did you? And then he's admitted, Robinson, to Lance Twiggs in their exchanges that I did. I'm wondering what type of accessory would Lance Twiggs be if he knew at that moment and didn't report it because the investigation was still going on? And can they also prove that if he's in the apartment, and this may be tougher to prove, that he saw Robinson writing the stuff on the bullets?
Well, it's always a problem because somebody, may be threatening to do a crime, whether it be murder or whether it be something else. Now, as the police will tell you, well, wait a minute, if I go to the police and I say, Frank Cusimano, I think is threatening to do a burglary on the XYZ company. Well, all right, but you haven't done the burglary yet. So they're not going to come out and they're not going to arrest Frank Cusimano because I said, I think that's what he's planning to do. Now, they may surveil you and do all that other sort of stuff, but you need to have the crime occur. So I don't know of anything that his roommate, quote unquote roommate, did or didn't do that would elevate that to accessorial liability. Now, what they're doing in the Tyler Robinson case is they've charged him with aggravated murder, and that aggravated murder allows them to ask for and look for the death penalty, and the aggravated factors in that are that he targeted Kirk based upon his political expression. And he knowing that he shot that weapon, knowing that children were present. So those are aggravations that gives rise to the potential for them, the prosecutor, to ask for the death penalty. Now, with every kind of death penalty, there are aggravating circumstances and mitigating circumstances. So that would be the aggravating circumstances for the prosecution, and during the course of the trial, the defendant would be allowed to offer evidence in mitigation. Usually, what that is would be things like mental disease or defect, mental illness, some kind of issue that he had going on in his life that would mitigate his intent to commit that that aggravated murder. Now, I don't know whether or not the question of whether they can seek that death penalty against Charlie Kirk is, I guess, whether he's a public official, and I don't know. I'm assuming that someplace along the line here that the defendant is going to argue that really he's not a public official, and therefore this is an aggravated murder involving a public official. He may not have liked what he said, but it doesn't rise to that particular class sufficient to look for the death penalty.
Got 1 minute left. A New York State judge dropped the terrorism-related charges against Luigi Mangione for the murder of Brian Thompson. Is there any scenario where he doesn't spend the rest of his life in prison? I mean, with the clear video?
I don't think so, Frank. And all those charges were based upon acts of terrorism, the New York anti-terrorism law. And remember, New York doesn't have a death penalty. And so all that using the anti-terrorism law would do would be increase the amount of the punishment that he would receive for either first or second degree murder. They still have the murders for which he can get 25 to life. But it's not a situation where he gets a mandatory life. So, yes, I think based upon what I know about the evidence, I don't think that if they get a conviction with respect to the murder charge, that he's going to be free anytime at all during the course of the rest of his life.
Chet, we appreciate it. Thanks so much. We'll talk soon.
You bet. Thanks.
All right, Chet Pleban joining us.
We all have those pieces of furniture in our house that we look at day in and day out, and we get a little blind to it, and then every once in a while we go, oh, gee, that is really worn. Or, you know what? That chair, that couch, that entertainment center doesn't fit in this room anymore. I don't even have a TV that fits in that piece of furniture anymore. But what are the reasons that we don't make the change? Two big things, money and time, right? Miller Furniture, been selling furniture for 98 years, and their experience can help you save both time and money when you find the perfect furniture for your home. And that's one of the things they take really seriously. They don't want you to just come in and say, okay, I guess this is on sale, so I'll take the whole set, even though I didn't need these 4 extra pieces and it's not really my taste, and it's going to wear out and look like you know what in just a couple of years. Miller's about saying, what do you use your furniture for? We want to make sure it functions well, and we want to make sure while it's functioning well for your family, it also looks beautiful and will look beautiful for the foreseeable future, for years, decades even to come. And that's why they take pride in being 99.9% American-made, high-quality furniture, a huge selection of exclusive Amish-made furniture, which means you can pick the custom pieces you want, pick out the perfect piece for your house, and they have the experts on staff that can do it for you. 4 locations: Fairview Heights, Lake St. Louis at the Meadows, Ellisville, and of course the flagship location in Belleville, Illinois. Miller Furniture, Mueller, furniture.com.
Hey, Ed Brock, everybody. If you love Halloween like I do yourself a favor and visit Johnny Brock's Dungeon. Why shop those tiny pop-up shops when you can shop 30,000 square feet of locally owned Halloween fun? We're open all year at I-44 in Jefferson on the edge of Soulard. Johnny Brock's Dungeon, a St. Louis must-see.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you are facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
Ronald Reagan once famously said, "Government is not the solution, government is the problem." When it comes to economic growth, government can be a roadblock. With red tape, regulations, and subsidies, government stifles entrepreneurship and also props up businesses that deserve to go under. Unlike government, free markets encourage risk-taking, freedom to succeed or fail. Governments shouldn't be picking winners and losers, the market should. Free markets benefit the business owner and the customer by encouraging competition. Free market enabled a young man named J.C. Hall selling picture postcards in Kansas City to turn his idea into Hallmark cards. In St. Louis, the free market made it possible for Adolphus Busch to turn his father-in-law's local beer into the world's largest brewery. A free market also means you get to send your kids to the school of your choice. Learn more about free markets at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
At Maryville University, we power dreams, not just degrees. For nearly 150 years, we've empowered graduates to build successful careers. At Maryville, expect a rigorous, technology-driven, mentor-inspired education in a diverse and inclusive learning environment. We help you take it to the next level, no matter what field you choose. Now is the time to turn your ambition into action and transform your dream into reality. Start your journey at maryville.edu.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset. Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardy contractor and Pella window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050. And have a Banner Day.
Got gold? Get green at Jewels on Hampton. Jewels on Hampton pays the most for your precious metals, jewelry, gems, currency, antiques, and collectibles. Jewels on Hampton buys precious and semi-precious gems and stones, scrap gold, and sterling silver. Jewels on Hampton buys and sells paper money, wristwatches, and pocket watches. They even take pianos and cars. To sum up, bring your gold chains, bracelets, rings, coins, dental gold, and more to Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton Avenue in St. Louis. And get green. Online at jewelsonhampton.com.
Be part of the moment as the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra returns home to Powell Hall at the Jack C. Taylor Music Center. Conducted by music director Stefan Deneve, opening weekend fanfare for Powell Hall opens the monumental season with a trio of fanfares celebrating the past, present, and future, and featuring Grammy Award winner soprano Joyce DiDonato, September 26th, 27th, and 28th. Tickets at slso.org.
It's the Big Sports Show with sports director Brendan Lisi. Weeknights 7 to 9 on the Talk of St. Louis, the Big 550, KTRS.
The Bomarito Automotive Group is Missouri's #1 automotive group. They've sold over 1 million vehicles by giving you a better price, a better selection, and more for your trade. You can shop them online, see their entire inventory online at bomarito.com.
Lots of stuff on the text line weighing in. We asked early on, what do you think about the comedian's role? Should they be more politically neutral, as that quote from Johnny Carson that Frank played early in the show? Great responses per usual. Let the comedians keep what they're doing. I want my late night comedians to be funny, not political. I think David Letterman started taking signs and ruined late night. That's why I watch Bill Maher. He calls it where he sees it. For sure. They all go after whoever's in office. They make fun of all the presidents. Even Carson made fun of Nixon. So great perspectives per usual from the text line. Somebody else saying they were at the ball game yesterday, Frank, and wondering the same thing, a little nervous about how Mosaic would be treated. As expected, St. Louis fans, true fans, classy.
That's nice that fan was concerned about it, too. It just would have looked so bad if we would have booed him.
Yeah, you brought it up a couple times, and I think you deserve a little credit for just kind of planting that seed for people who might have been headed out to the ballpark to be thoughtful and not reactionary in the moment.
I texted two people in the sports world after their moment in the sun, John congratulating him on the nice day he had. And then I texted Eli Drinkwitz after the press conference where I was the old man there. And I just said, I got to tell you something. I've been to about 5,000 press conferences probably. That was one of the most entertaining because he was just so hilarious. Boy, Jill, if you can get that, if you get it, if you get the media and you can be funny when you need to be funny and you're passionate when you need to be passionate, it's just it's like cheating.
You can tell me where I'm wrong because you have a lot more experience with him. But my sense is he has good boundaries with the media, but he doesn't take things as personally, and so he doesn't come out as always kind of halfway guarded and unhappy. But he also isn't afraid to put some boundaries up.
He's gone through that stage, but you're right. He has definitely gone to that. Before we go to break, I just want to say one quick thing. You were talking about Schlafly's. You were there this weekend? And you
Downtown. Loved it.
I went to Lester's. We started our Sunday football thing. It really is just the best. It's like 6 games, and you're watching everything, and the wings are so good. It is, I mean, outside of being at home, that's like
if you're
my
trying to
favorite
watch a
place.
game out in the world, there's no place better than Lester's. You literally
6
turn your
games.
head like, a quarter degree, and you're going to have a good view of what's going on.
You know how you're big on eye contact? Alex, Dom, and I had no eye contact because we were watching 6 games and following our teams, but it is the best place ever.
Oh, that's great. We have, speaking of best, we've got a great second hour of the Frank and Jill Show coming up right after the news. Don't go away.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or at your local CVS.
This is the sound of captivity. This is the sound of rescue. And this is the sound of freedom. Give Armenia's captive bears a second chance by supporting International Animal Rescue. Call 508-826-1083 or search The Great Bear Rescue to learn more.
Find what you love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Are you retired? Are you thinking about retiring? Who is helping you with retirement? Might be time to check out the show When Retirement Happens, hosted by Kevin Lloyd of Legacy Wealth Advisors. Saturday at 1, Sunday at noon on the Big 550 KTRS.
This is the Big 550 KTRS St. Louis, Ladue, Glen Carbon, University City, Edwardsville, Manchester, Wood River, Grafton, and the world.
Streaming live at KTRS.com.
Depend on it.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. A new report due out today on autism. The Trump administration could announce its findings on the use of acetaminophen in household brands like Tylenol. The administration says could have possible links to autism when taken during pregnancy. Many researchers who have studied autism links for decades say several months is not enough time. For more from ABC's Elizabeth Schulze, who says there are no studies proving that the use of acetaminophen carries autism risks for children.
Researchers say that the rates of Tylenol use in pregnancy have actually gone down in recent years, even as autism rates have risen amid increased awareness of the disorder and also widening definition of the spectrum. The CDC does say that 1 out of every 31 8-year-olds had autism in 2022. That's compared with 1 out of every 150 children in the year 2000.
President Trump publicly calling for his Attorney General Pam Bondi to go after political opponents.
The president announced late Saturday he'd be nominating White House aide Lindsey Halligan to serve as U.S. Attorney for the Eastern Virginia district that extends from Norfolk to the D.C. suburbs. Trump's former pick was forced out last week. The president says it was because Eric Siebert had been endorsed by Virginia's Democratic senators. But ABC News has learned Siebert determined he couldn't bring a mortgage fraud case against New York State's Attorney General Letitia James. Lindsey Halligan, who represented Trump through the Mar-a-Lago classified documents case, has no known experience as a prosecutor.
ABC's Stephen Portnoy. The UN General Assembly continuing in New York City. World leaders, including President Trump, speaking before delegates this week. It comes as international pressure is mounting over Israel's military push in Gaza. The UK, Canada, Australia, and Portugal expected to formally recognize a Palestinian state. In New Hampshire today, a 23-year-old is set to face a judge on second-degree murder charges, accused of storming into his former country club workplace over the weekend, opening fire during a wedding, killing 1 person and injuring 2 others. You're listening to ABC News.
This is KTRS News. I'm Sobe Bay. The search continues for a suspect after a man was fatally shot inside of a North St. Louis grocery store. The man was gunned down yesterday afternoon inside of the Schnucks in the 3400 block of Union Boulevard. The victim was taken to an area hospital where he died. His name hasn't been released. Police are reviewing security footage from the store in an effort to identify the suspect. Anyone with any information should call St. Louis Police or Crime Stoppers at 1-866-371-TIPS. A man is accused of stealing from a construction site near Barnes Jewish Hospital. Police say Lateral Ford was arrested on Sunday for allegedly stealing dozens of spools of copper wire from the construction site along Kings Highway. He faces charges of stealing and trespassing. As drought conditions worsen across the state, the Missouri Department of Natural Resources is encouraging people to report local drought conditions in their area to help decision makers better understand and assess drought conditions and impacts in Missouri. The Missouri Department of Natural Resources Climate and Weather Committee, in consultation with state climatologists and partners from the National Weather Service, are actively monitoring drought conditions and any impacts occurring in Missouri's communities. Drought conditions can be reported online at droughtimpacts.unl.edu. Attendance numbers are in for last month's Missouri State Fair. The Missouri Department of Agriculture reports more than 329,000 people attended the State Fair in Sedalia. Several first responders and citizens from the St. Louis region are set to be honored by the Missouri governor. More from KTRS's Steve Potter.
On Tuesday, Governor Kehoe will award the state's highest public safety honors to both first responders and civilians for their life-saving actions across the state in 2024. Award winners from the St. Louis region include Alan Crook and Luis Carlos Garza for their assistance to a Hazelwood police officer who is under attack from an armed robbery suspect. St. Charles firefighter and paramedic Kevin Dury and St. Charles Fire and Police Officer Dennis O'Leary will be recognized for their part in a life-saving rescue at a burning home. An award will also go to Crystal City Police Officer Tyler Griffin for his part in ending a threat by a heavily armed man who already had killed one person and was firing a gun on a highway. And the memory of St. Louis Police Officer David Lee III will also be honored. Lee was killed when he was struck by a vehicle on I-70 in the city as he set up traffic cones to divert traffic away from a crash site. Governor Kehoe will present the awards Tuesday afternoon in Jefferson City. Steve Potter, KTRS News.
This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. September is designated as National Workforce Development Month and National Apprenticeship Month. This has the Slate, Missouri Job Center taking part by hosting an apprenticeships and trades career fair this week. The event will bring together more than 30 apprenticeships and training providers. It will be held on Wednesday from 9 a.m. till noon at the Slate office at 1520 Market Street in downtown St. Louis. And now let's take a look at the markets brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings from 9 to 11 a.m. Wall Street right now, the Dow Jones is up 6 points to 46,321. S&P 500 is up 10 points to 6,674, and the NASDAQ up 58 points to 22,690. KTRS Sports, the Cardinals' home schedule is a wrap after beating first-place Milwaukee 5-1. Matthew Liberatore won for the 8th time, while Ivan Herrera hit his 17th home run. Birds begin a series with the Giants in San Francisco tonight. The Blues lose their first 2 exhibition games over the weekend, falling to both Dallas and Columbus on the road. The next preseason game for the Note won't come again until Saturday night at home against the Chicago Black Sox. KTRS weather today, cloudy with scattered rain and storms likely throughout the day, a high of 79. Tonight, cloudy with an overnight low of 65. Tomorrow, more rain. Storms expected with a high of 77. Right now, we have 71 degrees. The time is 10:06. I'm Sobe Bay, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
The most famous tackle in maybe Super Bowl history, the Rams winning the Super Bowl. Joining us now is the outstanding host at Good Morning Football, Kyle Brandt, and we have a program to tell you about, NFL Classic. After further review from Vice Sports and Omaha Productions re-examines the NFL's most unforgettable games through the eyes of the players who lived it and diehard celebrity fans who can't forget it. And this Wednesday, September 24th, 8 o'clock Central Time on Vice TV, you can see Kurt Warner, Cedric the Entertainer, and host Kyle Brandt relive the Rams' Super Bowl win over the Titans. Kyle, great to be with you. How are you today?
Thrilled to be here. I just got goosebumps listening to Al Michaels do the call again, and they never go away, do they? It's an amazing, amazing call.
And how do you remember that season? You're a passionate football guy, a former college football player yourself. Just to go from worst to first, an embarrassing franchise for so long, and then to be the most exciting franchise maybe of all time.
Well, I just remember Dick Vermeil. It's very simple words. We will rally behind Kurt Warner after Trent Green gets absolutely nuked in his knee in the backfield by Rodney Harrison. And I remember Dick Vermeil saying we will rally behind Kurt Warner, and thinking, who the heck is Kurt Warner? and then I remember you would watch these Rams highlights that Chris Berman would be doing on ESPN, and they would just win and win and win, and it was so fast and it was so fun, and they would do end zone celebrations. And then everyone started to realize who Kurt Warner was and who he wasn't, and the backstory started to emerge right into the playoffs, all the way to the Super Bowl against a very, very interesting Titans team as well. And sure enough, as you just played, Mike Jones, I think the biggest tackle in the history of football on any level. I can't find a tackle that's bigger in any level, college, high school, NFL. Really one of the clutchest plays of all time, because Kevin Dyson was cruising right in there, and it just made an incredible tackle. And I really mean it. I still get goosebumps.
All right. I love that, Kyle. Hey, it's Jill Farmer. So whether you're a sports aficionado like Frank or a non-aficionado like me, I recommend it. We got a preview of this, and we got to watch it. It is highly entertaining. Anybody who loved St. Louis football during that time has to go back and watch it, I think. And it just looked like a blast to have Kurt Warner and Cedric hosting this with you. Talk about what it was like to work with Cedric the Entertainer and Kurt Warner on this project.
Well, I'm glad you liked it. Thank you for saying that. It was just like, listen, I'm a football nerd, and I love this stuff. And so to sit there, first of all, with Kurt, I think the difference is what we do is that Kurt is a colleague of mine and a friend of mine, and Kurt has talked about this game for 25 years. What he has not done, though, is he has not sat there start to finish and watched it on camera. We don't just show the highlights. We don't just show Kurt hitting Isaac for the touchdown late in the game. We don't show the last play of the game that we mentioned with Mike Jones. It's the whole game. This is an hour show. So when it's not going well, and when Kurt is missing throws, and when he's agitated on the sideline, there's all the insight of that. He gave stories about this crazy thing he had to do the night before the game that I had never heard before. And then meanwhile, Cedric the Entertainer is this iconic comedian, and he was there. He was in the stadium that day as a fan. He's a St. Louis native, a lover of the city, everything about it. So his memories were not only hilarious, but I think really relatable to any Rams fans or anyone in St. Louis who loves that team, who misses that team. Cedric is just like one of you, and he compared it to, going to that stadium that day was a bigger deal for him than selling out Madison Square Garden in New York City. So it's all relatable. It's heavily nostalgic, and it just makes you want to watch the game over and over again.
And for our listening audience who've forgotten, Kurt Warner went 24 of 45 for 414 yards and 2 touchdowns and a 99 rating. And just we've seen the video of Dick Vermeil with Mike Martz. Don't go, shy on me. Don't go conservative on me. Just that whole relationship with the dynamic of Martz, Warner, and Vermeil. Kind of elaborate on that for us, please.
Oh, it's fascinating, and it's fascinating watching it back, knowing what's to come. And the broadcast, you'll see obviously a lot of Dick Vermeil on the sideline and Kurt, and then you'll see Mike Martz up in the booth calling the game with the headset on, and knowing that eventually Mike Martz is going to take over. He's going to be back on this same stage. It's all coming. Mike Martz would go on to be played by different actors and movies. All of this is coming at the time, and to see it in its infancy and to know that is fascinating. You had Mike Martz, who was looked at as the quote-unquote mad scientist and this offensive guru, where Dick Vermeil had been around for decades. He had been the Eagles coach. He'd been all over the place, very emotional guy, a guy who's not afraid to shed tears. And then Martz was this kind of machine-like emperor up there in the middle. And Kurt Warner is the man with the golden arm who stocked the grocery shelves and had his movie made about him as well. So there's so many characters in this. I was saying to Kurt on the show that when he hits Isaac Bruce for the long touchdown, that play alone puts Isaac in the Hall of Fame. It probably puts Kurt in the Hall of Fame. It probably puts Orlando Pace in the Hall of Fame. It puts Dick Vermeil in the Hall of Fame. Marshall Faulk, on and on and on. That one play, which got them the win, dictated so many futures, so many legacies. And to sit down with Kurt it's like watching a classic rock concert with the lead guitarist in the band. It's fascinating.
Yeah, I never thought of it like the way you just went through it, because if Warner doesn't have a Super Bowl win, if Vermeil doesn't, and if Isaac doesn't have a signature moment, now Marshall's going to get in either way, but you're right. And maybe Pace too, but those three for sure don't get in unless they win that game. That's a great thought. Now, I wanted to bring out Omaha Productions, which is the Peyton Manning company. And I think one of the great things about the Manning cast is they bring on celebrities on Monday nights. So when you're putting this whole concept together, take us through that. You wanted to get one guy that was actually a part of it, and then another person who could add some real entertainment.
Yeah, and as I've told Peyton many times, the difference between our show and the Manning cast is on our show, all the games are good. There are no stinkers. There are sometimes Peyton and Eli get a terrible game and they got to tread water for the entire second half. We have the luxury of going back in time, so every single one of our games is fascinating and electric. Even more so, to your point with the question is, sometimes we've had two players. We've done episodes with the Cowboys where we had Michael Irvin and Emmitt Smith together. We just felt like Cedric the Entertainer was so eager to be on the show, so anxious. He didn't do it for publicity. He didn't do it for money, certainly nothing like that. He just really had love for the Rams, and it's really the only team that we've done in any of these episodes this season that doesn't exist anymore. We didn't do an episode on the Houston Oilers or somebody like that. We did an episode really on the St. Louis Rams, and ironically, the Oilers who became the Titans. And I know that there are so many people in that community who love that team, especially that year, who missed that team. And Cedric the Entertainer was just so eager to be on the show to talk about that team. It really, really comes out in his commentary when you watch it. And I think a lot of people in St. Louis will get nostalgic listening to him.
And so it's going to be on Vice TV tomorrow night. Tell us about some of the other episodes that people, if they've missed them, and or how they can see them, and what's going to be coming up after this one as well.
Yeah, Wednesday night, 8 Central, 9 Eastern, NFL Classics After Further Review. It's a great way to spend an hour if you're a football fan, even if you're not. It's just a really well-done show by Omaha, and especially in St. Louis. You've looked back on the highlights of this for 25 years. I really think you've never looked back on them before. And we got all kinds of other classic games from different eras. The Phil Simms game in Super Bowl 21, we sit with Phil Simms. The Michael Irvin and Emmitt Smith talked about Cowboys-Packers against Brett Favre in 1995. The crazy Bears who we thought they were game, Monday Night Football 2006, Cardinals versus Bears. I sat with Brian Urlacher and Sebastian Maniscalco. It's just this is the most fun I've ever had doing the show, and each time we do it, that fan base of that team really responds. So, yeah, it's on Vice Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Central, NFL Classics After Further Review. All the information about it is on my social media. Very easy to Google when it is, and it's just well-produced, good entertainment. If you're on the couch on Wednesday night, there's no NFL football. I always refer to the show as Wednesday Night Football. So there is a game Wednesday night. It just happens to be from 25 years ago.
Two things not related to the program. One, what an unbelievable tribute yesterday to the NFL Today and the great Brent Musburger, and your piece right in the middle of it was outstanding at the Record Store.
Well, thank you very much. I'm glad you watched. Yes, it was the 50th anniversary of the NFL Today, so Brent Musburger was in studio in New York City, and I do little vignettes and video pieces for CBS. So we went back to 1981, which is a wonderful. I was 2 years old at the time. I don't remember it, but we did a lot of research, and you can watch it online. It's me talking about Black Sabbath and Pink Floyd and comparing them to different NFL teams who were really big in 81 at the time. It was really fun to do, and I'm glad you liked it. And my wife loved the wig that I wore.
Yes, and the other one was the pickleball piece you did. That was, I think it was Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, that was last season, the pickleball piece. Are you a pickleball player?
Yes,
it sounds like you are.
Yeah, everybody that plays pickleball got a big kick out of that. That was awesome.
Thank you. It's a low-hanging fruit to pick is that everybody is into it. And I'm into it myself, so I made all these inside references about staying out of the kitchen and blah, blah, on and on. And the pickleball community was very, very receptive. And so we do these pieces 7 or 8 times a year for CBS, and we try to find a little subgenre to do. And the pickleball one is one of the greatest we've done and the best feedback. It was really fun.
Kyle, continued success Wednesday, September 24th, 8 o'clock Central on Vice TV. Kurt Warner, Cedric the Entertainer, and Kyle Brandt on the Rams' Super Bowl victory over the Titans. Thank you so much.
Genuinely great to be here. Thank you very much. Great questions, great interview, and thanks for having me.
All right, Kyle Brandt joining us, and it's a good program every morning on the NFL Network.
And I'm grateful, Connor, you helped to make this all happen.
Connor, booking guests.
And we sending us, so we got to see a preview. I felt really special. I've never had an advanced
the advanced screener,
except for occasionally now in the last 9 months I've gotten to go to 2 movies early ahead of time.
Aren't you special?
I know, and you did too. We got to go see Soul on Fire before the official opening, which is happening next month, and then I got to see Downton Abbey. You were busy that night. I know you were dying to come.
Gosh,
I'm so sorry.
It's really one of the main perks is getting to see things a week early.
Yeah. By the way, I think the most asked question right now of people listening to this program is, where can I find Vice TV? Connor?
That's a good question.
We will find out and tell you in just a minute.
In fact, it's on the text line right now. Where do we find Vice TV? I'm sure what's Vice TV?
Yeah, I know. We'll give you an answer when we come back after this. But first, I wanted to let you guys know they don't like to, toot their own horn too much. But I think it's really noteworthy that the Gatesworth communities, the Gatesworth, McKnight Place Assisted Living and Memory Care, McKnight Place Extended Care, all honored as winners in their respective categories for the STL Headliner Awards. And that doesn't even count the national recognition of U.S. News and World Report list of best memory care communities, including the Gatesworth communities. Why does that matter? Because when it comes to memory care, you're talking about a whole different level of care and just so much expertise needed. I'm talking medical expertise, of course, like one of the top experts in the country, David Carr, professor at Washington University, gerontologist, geriatric specialist. He is the medical director for Park Provence. We're talking about nursing care, some of the leaders in the country when it comes to nursing care, including Kathy Kelly with more than 30 years of experience. It's that kind of expertise connected with local ownership. Why does local ownership matter? When you have a family member, a loved one in memory care, you are going to have questions, issues are going to come up, and you want to make sure that you have local people to talk to about what is needed, what needs to be adjusted, and how you can best support your loved one. And that's why we are always so proud to be able to tell you about the great work that the Gatesworth communities are all delivering. If you have questions about somebody in your life, a memory care, how soon do they need to get support? How soon is residential care recommended for them? Go to parkprovence.com today and set up your appointment.
Truck drivers, have you been searching for a more reliable driving job? Get the paychecks and predictability you need as a Schneider driver. Schneider's large selection of driving jobs means you can get the home time that suits your schedule. Choose from daily, weekly, monthly, or sometime in between. Plus, Schneider drivers have access to great benefits with a 401k match and a 24/7 support team. Get the keys to a better driving job. Search openings near you and apply now at schneiderjobs.com.
Everybody loves good barbecue, and everybody wants to know where the next great barbecue place is. And if you're looking for an overnight sensation, it's only taken them 10 years. 3 Bay Barbecue and Bakery, Woods Mill and Clayton Road. There is a gas station, West County Phillips 66 gas station. In that gas station, in the back, for 10 years, some of the best barbecue in town. Bring a friend and spread the word. 3 Bay Barbecue and Bakery. Don't forget about the bakery. 3BayBarbecueandBakery.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos. Fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/music. That's ethos.com/music.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is, who do you trust with your home? Your most valued asset. Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor and Pella window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050. And have a banner day.
You can count on Cantor. I'm Mark Cantor. When I was 12 years old, I witnessed my father, a pediatric doctor at Cardinal Glennon Hospital, suffer a terrible accident when a large and defective battery exploded in his face. My father went into shock and had to undergo emergency surgery to save his life. While my dad recovered, he hired a lawyer who promised that no one else would be hurt by that company's product, and he filed a lawsuit to make sure no one did. I love my dad, and what he went through inspired me to become a lawyer and to start Cantor Injury Law. Like my father, I serve the St. Louis community, and I have done so for over 30 years. You can count on Cantor to treat you like family, to understand your case and your injury, and to fight for you. You can count on Cantor to help make things right. Visit cantorinjurylaw.com or find us on Facebook or call us at 314-628-9999. The choice of a lawyer's important decision should not be based solely upon advertisement, so call Cantor.
Think about it. You take thousands of steps every day. Shouldn't every single one of them feel amazing? Well, with Arch Fit hands-free Skechers slip-ins, they can. Skechers teamed up with podiatrists to design a shoe that provides amazing arch support for all-day comfort. And best of all, you get all this comfort, stability, and support with the ease of Skechers slip-ins technology. Just slip them on. There's no bending down and no struggling to tie your shoes. Just step in and go. Try Arch Fit hands-free Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever comfortable footwear is sold.
You've seen the movies Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick. Have you always wondered what it would be like to be a Top Gun instructor or pilot? Now is your chance at the National Museum of Transportation. On October 15th at 7 p.m., Captain Kevin Proton McLaughlin, United States Navy retired former commander of Top Gun and technical advisor to the movie Top Gun Maverick, will be the featured speaker. Tickets are $30. Reserve your spot now online at tnmot.org at the National Museum of Transportation.
My friends at Neighbors Credit Union are rolling out a new account. The new Debit All Day account is designed for the way you pay today. Debit All Day is a checkless checking account featuring a Neighbors Visa debit card, the convenience of online and mobile banking, and access to your direct deposits up to 2 days early. If you're looking for a no-fuss account to make managing your money simple, safe from overdrafts, and free of fees, Debit All Day is for you. Open your Neighbors Credit Union Debit All Day account online today at neighborscu.org.
St. Louis is home to more than 80,000 University of Missouri St. Louis alumni, where they drive the region's economy and contribute to its social and cultural well-being. At Elmsville, more is what moves us. Find your more and build more connections at more.umsl.edu.
Want a song?
Around my mind like the song on the radio.
Want a quote? It's the song and quote of the day on the Frank and Jill Show. Right here on the Big 550 KTRS.
Welcome back, everybody. 11:25, Frank and Jill Show. Jill Farmer, Frank Cusimano, Connor McCarthy. Really glad you're with us on this Monday morning. I just made Frank really tired, more tired than usual, which is usually just me talking. Puts him into a state of exhaustion and frustration. But I reminded you, I think you're at 30 days without taking a day off now.
I am not sure of the analytics on that.
But would you say that I'm likely?
Maybe correct. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I am correct. I know. I mean, I'm sure fall's a busy time because of football season and all of that kind of stuff. But seriously, dude, you got to take a day off at some point.
Chris Trevino was on the sideline, and he says, "Yeah, I kind of guilted you to get down here, didn't I?" I can remember he said on the air last week. I said, "Well, I was probably going to come, but it was good seeing him and Mike Kelly." I didn't actually. Howard was doing something in the booth, so I didn't get a chance to really talk to Howard. But boy, what an atmosphere down there! It's a long day, though. You know, it's 4 hours in the car, and then game,
and then come
interviews.
back for one of your longest days of the week on Sunday when you work an exceptionally long day every.
My only other skill would be as a busboy, so I'm not complaining.
I know you're not complaining. I just, we want you to be able to make this sustainable, and at some point you got to take a day off. Just my unsolicited advice. I do think we picked a song of the day today that would. I'm guessing this group is it in your
top 10
Mount
sure.
Rushmore or top 10? Okay.
Yeah, maybe Mount Rushmore. You're right.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
This is a great song too.
Based on the number of times you request their music, I would say they've got to be close to your top 5.
I'm a big Maurice White fan.
Okay.
Who we lost, I think, in 2016.
And we were not able to play this song on its official day of September 21st. So one day late, here is September.
Wow.
Is it just me, or do we wish that bands would bring back some brass?
Yeah. Gosh. Could that be like a 90-10 approval rating song? I mean, McConnor would probably be the only one who didn't like it.
No, I love that song. Why wouldn't I like that song?
All right.
I don't think it's generational, because when we go to weddings of 20-somethings, which we're
Yes.
going to a
Big
lot
at
of,
weddings.
because the age that our kids are, and friends and relatives in that age range getting married, it's always a crowd pleaser, multi-generational crowd pleaser.
Probably only if they have a DJ, because it looks like there's like 20 people on stage for the performance of this.
that's
So
where
I
you
feel
use-
like the band would struggle to perform this.
You know what? That's where they use those sound tracks. I
Okay.
think somebody's
Yeah.
got a brass background.
There's like
soundtrack.
5 brass people. There's 5 guitarists. I mean, there's a lot going on.
And
Yeah.
you've seen them in person, right?
I have. Well, one
Did you see
time.
them in Hollywood?
No, I saw them in back in Des Moines back in the day.
Really?
A quick appearance. I think it was even at the state fair, and it was like a song, get some sound for the 10 p.m. when you were like one reporter covering for the entire night. So I didn't get to spend much time, but yes, that was many, many, many years ago. And I can't remember how many of the originals were in that iteration of the tour I saw either, but it was fun. Other bands that utilized brass instruments, Chicago, remember all those great?
Oh, yeah. And ironically, they played together when I saw them at Hollywood.
And how did everybody stand the test of time?
Oh, my gosh, yes. I mean, I told you, I think that Earth, Wind, and Fire, all African-American, came out wearing white. Chicago, all white. They all came out wearing black.
Mm-hmm.
And then they each performed separately. Then they came out and played together.
Yep.
I mean, it was just, wow.
Right. You did tell us about that, but I think it's worth revisiting, because just your energy about the whole thing was perfection. Matthew McConaughey out with a couple of big projects right now. A new movie about a hero in the Paradise fires in Northern California. You remember those fires where it just decimated the town of Paradise? And then he's written another new book. His last book, Greenlight, was a surprise New York Times bestseller for many, many, many weeks. A lot of people ended up really liking it. It was sort of in the self-help / memoir genre. His new book, called Poems and Prayers, he said he noticed himself getting cynical, like much of the rest of the country, judging people for their views and opinions, separating himself from those who didn't agree with him. And he said it just woke up one day and said, nope, we have got to stop this us and them way of thinking. His new book is intended to be part of the conversations of hope and promise.
Good for him. That movie, by the way, that Lost Bus, is really unbelievable when you think about it. I mean, he's a bus driver, he's a teacher, and they got to save 22 people in this inferno. Gosh, does that sound like it's going to be
and
great?
it's coming, and the fire's coming
Yeah.
at him from all directions. Yeah, it does look like it's going to be a really, really good show. Here's what Matthew had to say about his poems and book, Poems and Prayers. If doubt wins, then we all lose, and we can't let that happen. I thought that was a pretty good soundbite.
Yeah. He gets made fun of, I think, maybe because of the Lincoln commercials. Have you seen those?
Mm-hmm.
But you think about some of the movies he's been in, like A Time to Kill, I think maybe is my favorite.
That's his Apex Mountain for you.
Yeah, The Lincoln Lawyer I enjoyed too. The TV series not bad. But maybe his best role was like the Dallas Buyers Club.
Oh, he was really good in that. And he's interesting. I heard him on a great interview. I think it was on Armchair Expert a few years ago, talking about just how much money he left on the table from walking away from all of those, because he was in a romantic comedy. If you remember, in the early 2000s, he was in every...
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days?
Yeah, that he was just in
Failure
a
to
series
Launch.
of those, and it was the movie, and of course the production houses said, "Listen, you're not doing anything else. This is box office gold. Sorry, you want more." You want more creative opportunities and more challenges to your acting chops. And he walked away from a lot of serious money to be able to say, I got to do different stuff here. It's going to suck the life out of me.
Yeah. Don't you love it? And I think you and I have been getting into it when we do our movies segments with Tarek, and we do the deep dives to find out who they wanted for what role. And, oh, my gosh, that person was going to play that role? I mean, I think that's fascinating stuff.
I do. And in this movie that you mentioned, The Lost Bus, the survival drama about that 2018 campfire in Paradise, California, it's going to be on Apple, I think, coming up a little bit later this month, because you were talking about how to watch it. But I think there's something meaningful about these news events. We become blind to them because the 24-hour news cycle, so many natural disasters and political upheavals and all the things happening in our country, we sometimes forget about that stuff. And I do appreciate that sometimes Hollywood circles back around to remind us of just how heroic and harrowing these experiences were.
Yeah. Back to that little thought about actors turning down roles. They asked Denzel Washington once, like, which ones did you really regret that he could have had? 7 and Michael Clayton for him. Tom Hanks was Jerry Maguire. I can't picture Tom Cruise seems like Jerry Maguire, but you never know. And then Jim Carrey, I think, was Elf, which would have been, he probably would have been great at Elf too.
Yeah, he would have. It would have, that kind of over-the-top physical comedy was within his strike zone for sure as well, although it's sure hard to imagine anybody else but our friend Will Ferrell in that role.
Now, this week, do we have Tarek? And this week is Friday the 13th or Halloween?
Friday the 13th. Have you watched it yet?
I have not lately, no. I am going to.
I have never watched it, and as you know, and I've been whining to Connor in the past, I'm a wimp when it comes to movies, especially scary movies at all. So this will be my first time actually probably watching a feature-length horror film. Connor keeps telling me it's campy enough that I'm not going to be too afraid to be in my house alone for the next foreseeable future. But I got to admit, I'm a little nervous about it.
In fact,
maybe if you go to a lake, it'll stop you from it'll.
One of my favorite things to do in the world is to go to the woods in a lake. Maybe it'll just keep me from ever wanting to do that again.
Just kind of end the season. You can start it up again next year.
It's just going to make me not want to do something that I want to do more than anything in my life, generally on most days.
And I have not done this. Usually Monique helps me. I usually text her on Tuesday. Hey, we got to watch this movie tonight. Can you find it? We'll watch it at 10:30. She's not going to be around. How do I find this one?
I haven't looked that up yet either. But you can always run them on Prime for $3.99. That's no big deal.
All right, sounds good.
It looks like it's on Pluto. Do you know what Pluto TV is?
No, but we did find Vice TV. We should say
Vice TV. You can check your local listings. It's on all the cable companies, and it's on Hulu as well. It looks like.
Yeah.
So
So
there you go.
if you're YouTube or Charter, you can watch it on there, and then if you want to watch it streaming later, if you're a Hulu person, I think that's going to be your opportunities to watch that. Hey, it's always fun for us to hear that people have heard about somebody on our air, heard us talking about recommending somebody like Ryan Raphael, the Medicare man. Ryan texted me recently and said that somebody had heard us talk about him and recommend him, and they reached out to him, and he said, it's just always so great to have that happen. And in that particular case, when the person met with Ryan, they discovered that they weren't quite ready to sign up yet because their wife was still working. And so that meant that they did not need to go on Medicare, even though they are turning 65 themselves. And those are the kind of things that can be confusing to the rest of us, that we want to make sure that we've got our ducks in a row, so to speak, to make sure that we don't end up doing this late with penalties or get ourselves into trouble accidentally. Ryan loves meeting with you, even if it turns out it's not time for you yet, or he's got a recommendation that you hold off because of the stipulations and the company you work for has enough employees and you're not retired yet. There's all kinds of nuances, all kinds of stipulations that are really above certainly my pay grade and many others as well. And this is what Ryan lives, eats, and breathes every day as the Medicare man. All he says is just go ahead and make the appointment with me anyway, and I'll be able to help you. We'll map out a plan when the timing is right. He's going to be the one that can do things for you. He is gearing up for the busiest, perhaps, enrollment period starting in October ever, and he's excited about it, right? Other people might be like, oh, I'm about to get overwhelmed, swamped. Nope, Ryan knows he's about to help more people than he's ever been able to help, and that's what makes him tick. Medicare Man Ryan Raphael, 314-368-6808 or MedicareManSTL.com. For the right plan, call the Medicare Man.
And now, KTRS weather from the John Beal Roofing Weather Desk.
Happy first day of fall. Temperatures today struggling to make it out of the upper 70s. That's due to the rain that we have in the morning and lingering cloud cover by the afternoon. The rain expected to clear closer to 10 a.m. and the rest of the day is dry, but there are plenty more rain chances through the week. In fact, Tuesday brings another wave of heavy rain for the second half of the day, and we keep the rain chances through Friday. With your first alert forecast, I'm meteorologist Leah Hill for the Big 550 KTRS.
John Bill Roofing is the home of the lowest price roofing guarantee. Get a free estimate today at johnbealroofing.com.
The University of Missouri St. Louis offers academic programs at the undergraduate, graduate, doctoral, and professional levels to fit any passion, purpose, and schedule. At UMSL, more is what moves us. Find your more at more.umsl.edu.
Hey, it's Heidi, and I've only sold 2 houses, but I know how stressful it can be. I also know the team at Lauren Risley Realty makes the entire process as easy as possible. I watched Lauren work with friends and my parents, and I can say she is top notch. She doesn't just know the market, she knows what to look for in a home, and that includes red flags. And through all of it, she is calm, cool, and kind. So if you're in the market to buy or sell a home, or if you just have a question, call Lauren Risley Realty, 314-775-0684, or go to laurenrisleyrealty.com.
Electricity is very important because if you don't have electricity, you're sitting in the dark in more ways than one. And when the lights go out for one last time, maybe, just maybe, you want a whole home generator. Well, that's where Michael Baldy comes in because Michael Baldy can do that. He's putting in a whole home generator for a friend of mine on the hill. Whether you live on the hill or a brand new home, at some point you're going to need some electrical help, and that's where Michael Baldy comes in. He's been an electrician since 1996, and he has a full team of electricians who will help you every single step of the way, whether it's a whole home generator, maybe some extra plugs for the Christmas lights, maybe it's something in the basement, something in the attic, maybe the garage. Doesn't matter. Whether it's an old Victorian home or a brand new commercial building, indoor or out, Michael Baldy, the electrician, has got to be on your phone. Put him on your speed dial, 314-968-9999, 314-968-9999. You can thank me later. Michael Baldy, BaldyElectric.com.
Andy from Hats and Stuff. The summer's heat is starting to break and the kids are back to school, and we're gearing up for an exciting fall with a great selection of NFL and NHL hoodies, ball caps, and so much more. We still have great deals on Cardinals and Mizzou merchandise for the entire family at fantastic prices.
We have a huge selection of St. Louis-inspired graphic tees, all at $10. And don't forget about the cowboy hats.
Located at Westport Plaza across from the Drunken Fish and the Kobe Steakhouse and the Soulard Farmers Market on Saturdays. Hats and Stuff. Good stuff at really great prices.
Hats and Stuff. I'm Farmer Dave, and here's my good friend and owner of MasterCars Inc., Alex Rosenberger, with today's hot MasterCars Inc. deals.
Hey, thanks, Farmer Dave. This is our favorite motoring season. Great top-down weather or getting the bike out. The temps are perfect. Of course, we can fix you up with one if you're in need. Attractive financing options available with no payments until 2026. Keep that in mind. Now, if you have one and don't need it, we can help there too. We're always looking for super clean, low-mile, pristine Corvettes, muscle cars, classic cars, luxury cars, you name it. Motorcycles too, especially Ducatis and Harleys. We'll even buy entire collections. Hop on our site, submit what you've got, and we'll get you an offer. Easy as that.
So rev that motor and point your car in the direction of MasterCars Inc. and buy or sell today. 4100 Namioki Road in Granite City, or visit MasterCarsInc.com to get more details. That's MasterCarsInc.com.
All right, welcome back. This is the Frank and Jill Show on the Big 550 KTRS. We've already had a chance to talk with Chet Pleban, the outstanding attorney, and Kyle Brandt from the NFL Network about a big Rams special coming up. If you'd like to be a part of the program, the Royal Banks of Missouri text line is 84126, and you can watch us on YouTube and on Facebook.
How much pickleball? We talked about pickleball a little bit with Kyle Brandt earlier because of fun piece he did. By the way, he's great when he's on CBS Sunday morning for those special pieces he does. How much pickleball are you playing these days? I know golf kind of took over this summer, and you had the elbow thing, so you were prioritizing. If you're doing one or the other, you're playing golf.
Oh, yeah. There's no question. Yeah, and in fact, don't want to brag here, but I did get broke by a stroke on Friday. It's a great victory. I'd like to thank the academy. And
Yes, and she did to give birth 2.5 weeks ago or 3
That's
weeks
right.
ago. So
yeah. And I immediately texted any of our mutual friends, and I just said, hey, text Brooke, ask her how golf went today. So she got about 3 texts. How'd you know? How'd you know? So she
how and was it? Did she play at her best? Was she at her best,
no,
and you
no,
still
she's
beat
not
her?
there yet. Yeah.
Okay, so when she's at her worst, you can beat her by a
She's-
stroke.
No, she's better. She's just flat out better because she doesn't miss a fairway, and she doesn't practice, and she doesn't even go to the range, and she'll just go out there. See, that's the difference. Is my dad had me, washing glasses at key malls when I was 5. I had her hitting balls when she was 5. So,
And she
yeah.
She was a good basketball player too, wasn't she?
player, yeah.
Did you hear this? That Survivor 49. Have you ever watched Survivor?
Not very often. Tell me about it.
I'm not, I have to say, a big Survivor fan. I may have watched the first couple of seasons. When it very first started, I was working at a CBS affiliate. And it was it was huge. If you remember how big it was when it started back in the early 90s. And, I think I actually was surprised it's still around. I hadn't paid attention too much. But apparently it's really younger generation of folks do follow it. Do you ever watch Survivor, or do you know anybody who does?
I've
Connor?
watched some old classic seasons. I don't think I was watching them live, but I've watched Survivor.
So former KSDK anchor Savannah Louie is going to be in this next season. Do you remember her?
Vaguely.
Okay. and
in the
then
morning, I guess.
2016 WashU grad Sophie Segretti, I hope I'm saying her last name. She, in her alma mater's magazine, St. Louis Magazine's reporting this morning that in the WashU publication, she said Survivor was way more difficult than microeconomics. So, of course, they've already filmed it in Fiji. So when the rest of us are watching it as it debuts this week, the participants, including your former colleague and this WashU 2016 WashU grad, already know how things turn out, and they are sworn to secrecy like they all are on these shows. So
Isn't that interesting? Yeah. What's Family Feud? Howard Richards was a part of, and he couldn't tell us for a long time. And they ended up having a great deal of success, his family.
our incredible colleague Julie Buck, I think, has had some Family Feud experiences. I never have asked her about, or had a Family Feud experience. I've never asked her about the secrecy required. I have a college friend who was on it and just had a great time. She said it was really, really fun.
So Julie, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, that is awesome.
I can't remember. How would you do in a situation like that where you have to, under pressure, off the top of your head, come up with the best answer?
Gosh, I'd probably be pretty average. Yeah. How about yourself?
I think it'd be terrible.
Yeah.
Because in that setting, I'll think of it like, I used to think I was quicker on my feet. This job has made me realize my brain is just getting slower by the second. And I think that pressure to come up with the answer like that everybody else is thinking of at the same time, I think I'd be bad at it.
Connor, you would be good at it, I think.
Some of them, yeah.
I do better
Jeopardy,
probably on
I guess,
Who
a
Wants
little
to Be a
bit,
Millionaire.
Okay, yeah.
I think Joe, speaking of the Bucks, I think Joe Buck just did that. Julie, of course, is a huge game show fan, so she went along with them for that because she just wanted to be game
there.
show adjacent, which makes sense if it's something that you love and passionate about. I might be better at that one because it's more fact-based. You kind of either know it or you don't. But
I kind of like the Saturday Night Live Jeopardy skits.
oh, yeah, they're the best.
Sean Connery. That was the greatest.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Jeopardy. Now that's a whole different level of than facts than Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, where you could luck out and guess on some of the multiple choice answers. Some of those deeper science questions are
no way
not good. You like science fiction though, don't you?
Yeah, sure.
I'm about halfway through Max's recommendation of the science fiction book Hail Mary.
Mm-hmm. Project Hail Mary.
Which
they're making into a movie. Yeah.
And it's the person who wrote
The Martian.
The Martian, and you didn't like Project Hail Mary
Well,
as much as Max did.
I have quibbles with it, but it's fine.
I'm liking it a lot so far. I'll report in later after I get a chance to listen to the whole
Have you
thing.
watched Black Rabbit yet?
No, but it's on our list, and I was really glad to hear your recommendation because just on the outside and looking at the trailer, I thought it looked great. So I'm thrilled that you have liked it as much as that it's kind of living up to the hype.
And again, what is he in? Jason Bateman. It's bad.
Even the commercials, even the new State Farm commercials, where it's like
the Bateman.
It's like having Bateman instead of Batman. And he's like, "What's your last word?" And he looks up the guy who has, the bad guy, and he's like, "It's kind of a long one, dermatologist." It cracks me up every time.
And Jude Law is a cool cat in this thing. It's just got a lot of twists and turns. It's really
Did you end up liking Hostage as much as I did? Did you like the way it ended?
Not as much, but I did. I enjoyed the show. There's no doubt about it. But
the ending part didn't grip you as much. I really liked the ending of that one. So I hope I guess my standards are a little high because I enjoyed between Paradise and that. I really enjoyed the twists and turns of those kind of more suspense shows. So I hope this one lives up to it as well. Something that always lives up to the reputation is our friends at Woods Basement Systems. It's because reputation matters to them. It matters so much that they've always, since way back almost 40 years ago, have always cared about customers. It wasn't just about getting the job done for one and then trying to market and get the next one. It's always been wanting to make sure that every customer is so happy that with their next house, if they need support on anything related to the basement, maybe they want to finish it, maybe they've had basement waterproofing problems, maybe they've got issues with driveways or the garage and water issues. They want you to be a customer for life, not because you keep having the same problem. They want to solve the problem for you for life. But when you move to a new house or when you have kids that have bought a new home or coworkers or neighbors, they want to be the first thing that rolls off your tongue when you recommend a company that has outstanding customer service and does an excellent job at taking care of what often is one of the biggest issues in a homeowner's life, and that is when, in our St. Louis climate, we end up with these massive rainstorms that can cause a lot of damage to your house. WoodsBasementSystems.com, 618-708-4055. Tell them we sent you.
Kuna Food Service has been the trusted food supplier in the Midwest since 1918. For over 100 years, Kuna Food Service has been distributing the highest quality food products to some of your favorite restaurants while delivering superior customer service. When a restaurant puts their trust in Kuna Food Service, they get a team that truly cares about their success. That's why at Kuna, they like to say, they're big enough to handle it, yet small enough to care. Check them out online at kunafoodservice.com.
Appliance Discounters has another showroom, this time on Gravois Road, right next to the little Dairy Queen that's been there for ages. This showroom is different. It's packed with name brands, GE, LG, Bosch, that are slightly dinged, one-of-a-kind, or closeout items direct from the manufacturer. They all come with the factory warranties and all the factory rebates. You want huge savings at big discounts, theappliancediscounters.com. To find the one nearest you, including the one on Gravois Road in Afton, theappliancediscounters.com.
It's Julie Buck here to tell you that the patio is open at Bishop's Post right next to Chesterfield Mall. Get your reservations in now and go to Bishop's Post. You will love it. Tell them Julie Buck sent you, bishopspost.com.
Brought to you by IHOP. Go to your happy plates with the $6 IHOP value menu. Available every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations.
Michael's Baths, operated by Michael Gower and his daughter Melody. If you want a bathroom remodel, Michael's Baths will give you a free quote. Walk-in showers that all look like natural stone, maybe some grab bars, whatever you need. All they use are American-made products, so you're not at the mercy of any tariff increases. Right now, get a free shower door or $500 off a bathroom remodel. Michael's Bath, 636-775-0800, or online at michaelsbaths.com.
Hey, it's Julie Buck for our friends at Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution, and they've been in St. Louis for over 20 years with 2 locations, one at Clayton and Lindbergh, and the other one just west of 270 on Olive. If you've got your own business and you want to have a better banking experience, look no further than Triad Bank. Their mission is to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services to you and your business. For more, go to triadbanking.com.
Some of my fondest memories as a kid is heading down to the hardware store. You had to pick up a couple of nails, a couple of screws, maybe a gallon of paint, whatever it may be, right? It was your friendly neighborhood hardware store. Well, those don't exist anymore in St. Louis, except for Schnarr's Hardware. They have 2 locations in Webster Groves and in Clayton Road in Ladue. Schnarr's Hardware is that place where you go in and you can get that bucket of paint, you can get a couple screws. The advice is always free. And the one thing about Schnarr's Hardware that every single family hardware store used to have, and that is the smell. it smells like a hardware store. It's got the selection. I don't know how they do it. It's a small store, but they got everything you ever need. They got the paint. They got paint matching. They've got big green eggs. They've got screws and nails and everything a hardware store should have. Schnarr's Hardware, 2 locations, 1 great hardware store. Schnarr's Hardware, we'll see you there.
All right, welcome back. Thursday, our weekly special brought to you by our good friends at Kuna's Mamas in the House. I had a steak Mediga there at the Jack Nicklaus dinner a few weeks ago. I thought it was spectacular. And they are one of the couple of families that claim they invented toasted Rav. So they probably, I'm sure they make a great toasted Rav. I haven't had it in a while, but their red sauce was good. I'm looking at their meatballs right now. Man, am I hungry. It looks great.
Yeah, it's just a very fun place. Mama's is one of those places, too, on the hill that's fun because you have people that are kind of dressed up to go to you can tell they're there for an anniversary dinner or it's a place that they go to celebrate special occasions. And then there's regulars, right, that are there all the time. And that, I guess, reminds me of my roots. It's one of those places that reminds me of small town America where it's just like it's got an excellent vibe and fun food.
We were talking about game shows on whether you'd be sharp or not. It reminds me of, I think, one of the better movies I saw. It was in 2008. Do you remember Slumdog Millionaire?
Sure. I love that movie.
Oh, my goodness. The story of the 18-year-old orphan Jamal Malik and the pressure and the intensity that was involved in some of those questions and answers. And then his beautiful girlfriend who got slashed. Remember that? Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, just kind of really diving into it was such a heavy movie in some ways because of just going into what it's like to the brutality of growing up in extreme poverty in India, which I think it exemplified in ways that a lot of us maybe hadn't really wanted to see up close and personal in that way. And then just how it ends, it's phenomenal. I absolutely love that movie. It's one I definitely stop on when you're clicking through. Somebody else pointing out some of the other great Matthew McConaughey performances. We were talking about him earlier. We Are Marshall.
Oh, my goodness.
I loved that movie. I mean, I love sports movies. They're probably one of my top 3 genres of movies, but it's just such a powerful story, and he does do a good job in it, doesn't he?
Yeah. I wonder why, I guess with sports movies, a lot of times it comes down to, first of all, there's so many compelling angles in sports, but it takes a long time for them to put it together. It's not like there's a tragedy or something historic happens and the movie's made like a year later. They have so much time, in between of when it happened, like with Miracle and with We Are Marshall, and they just put it together so well. But
yeah, and then somebody else pointing out way back in 1993, I guess this would be considered a breakthrough for sure. The Dazed and Confused, the Richard Linklater film, the Matthew McConaughey's performance in that was outstanding. So yeah, you guys are always so good with your movie trivia, keeping on top of stuff even faster than we can Google it. Somebody else from the 314, a guy from my hometown was on Survivor. Yeah, it was a big deal, wasn't it? When we knew
At one
somebody.
time, it was big. It's probably still as big, right? I mean, it's CBS on what night of the week is it on? I don't even know.
I do not know that.
Well, it can't be that big then.
Exactly. But I think people who like it, or apparently when I was looking at it over the break, again, it's still something that a lot of millennials and Gen Xers who grew up watching it, the number of applications they get for it is still extremely high. So it's still a desirable thing for people to participate in among a certain group of people that they just want to give it a shot and see if they can do it.
The ratings are good, but not quite what we get for Sunday Night Football. I just can't wait to see what that rating was. Even though it was not a compelling game, it's still the Chiefs on in St. Louis with the most popular program there is, Sunday Night Football.
The first half was good.
Do you think people tuned in for that?
Oh my!
That was not a good game at all.
It doesn't matter. It's the Chiefs. It's Sunday Night Football.
All right.
It was ratings gold, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think you are absolutely right. Speaking of Ratings Gold, we have a great show lined up for you tomorrow. You're going to want to stick around. Dr. Rick, man, there is some really big stuff happening in the world of medical breakthroughs. You're going to want to hear some of the things that we're going to learn about, including a number of things. But he wants to remind us that being fat but fit is actually better than being underweight, among a few other things. Lots of things to talk to Joe Holloman about as well, including something that our legislators in Washington are working on as it relates to weddings and the arch. Are you interested to hear that?
Yes, that's good stuff. All right, that'll do it for this edition of the program. Coming out next, it'll be John Carney and Julie Buck. We'll take a short break and we'll be back in 22 hours.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-859-3220. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 to 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-859-3220. That's 800-859-3220 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. 800-859-3220.
What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask.